What's up, you guys? Hope you all had an amazing Thanksgiving. So I'm going to do a quick training today on Are You Conditional? Are you conditional? So this means, are you taking actions based on whether or not something outside of you happens? Are you taking actions based on whether or not another person does something or doesn't do something? Are you being a conditional individual? So what I mean by this is, you know, the phrase like unconditional love, where you'd say, I basically will love you no matter what. Like, you can fuck up 1,000 ways to Sunday and I will still love you. People call that unconditional love. That's typically the definition that we've used for it. So when you think of being a conditional person, that would be like, I will only love you if you do this, this, and this. If you don't do these things, then I'll stop loving you. Or I will only be supportive of you if you're doing this, this, and this, or not doing that. I will stop loving you if you're not doing those things, right? It's like algebra. It's like you're using if-then statements. So an example would be, if I get hired by this copywriting client, then I will feel secure enough to quit my job and work full-time as a copywriter. If I get this project from this client, then I will feel comfortable enough to take more risks and run some ads and, do X, Y, and Z. So are you being conditional? If you're being conditional, you are actually being a victim of your reality. And you're actually blaming other people and circumstances for your own behavior. So I want you to look at the different areas of your life. Like, where are you being conditional? Where are you saying, I will only do this if you do that? That's a conditional person. That is someone who has no strong foundation whatsoever, because they're basing their actions on something or someone else. Now, the opposite of that is if you decide that you're going to do something regardless of what happens, regardless of what other people are doing, regardless of how you feel, regardless of extenuating circumstances, you're going to follow through on the action that you decided to do because you decided to do it. You made a decision. You gave your word and said you would do it. That's the opposite of being a conditional person. That person, when you do that every single day, you develop a really strong foundation to be successful in whatever you set your mind to. Because by doing that, you're basically saying, nothing is going to faze me. Nothing is going to stop me. Nothing is going to act as an excuse for me not to follow through on this action that I said I would do. Because if you come up with an excuse for something, you are actually blaming something or someone other than yourself. So let's just break this down into really simple examples. Like, it could be as simple as a wake-up time. If you tell yourself, I am deciding to wake up at a certain time. So for me, that's 4:59 a.m. That's what I strive towards. And if you're conditional, you'll sleep in if you wake up feeling tired. You'll sleep in if your muscles are really sore, if you're in pain and you're like, ooh, I need like 15 more minutes or like 2 more hours. That makes you conditional. The opposite of that is you wake up, you get up out of bed by the time that you decided, no matter what happens, no matter how you feel, no matter what you did last night, no matter how late you stayed up, no matter what kind of drama someone else brought you, doesn't matter because you're sticking to what you said you would do. Most of the population, most of the world does not have the ability to stick to a single fucking thing. And so if you can learn how to develop this trait, this skill, this ability in yourself where you stick to what you said you would do, it's going to take you so far. So wake up time, that's one example. Let's use copywriting as another example. So let's say your goal is to apply to 5 really high quality remote copywriting jobs that you find online where people are currently looking to hire a copywriter right now. So you know that if you contact them, there's a high chance that they're very interested in your message because they're looking to hire a copywriter right now because they said that they are. So let's say you want to do 5 of those a day. So you're not going to pitch random strangers because you don't know if they're looking or not. It's a waste of time. And you're going to say, okay, 5 solid copywriting jobs per day. I'm going to apply to those. I am going to write a message to those people, an email, a cover letter, a video, whatever it is, a 2-minute video, a 60-second video, a 30-second video. I'm going to create that for each of these 5 people, each of these 5 companies today. And I'm going to give it my absolute best. I'm going to spin my past experience in a way that brings out my strengths, what I'm good at, what I'm passionate about, and I'm going to bring that to the forefront. And I'm going to send those 5 applications today. Maybe that's your goal. And so you start working on that. Okay. Now let's say you do 4 of those. And by the time the 5th one, you're ready to start the 5th one, but you get a phone call. You get an urgent phone call from someone. Is that the excuse that stops you? Is that the reason for not getting the 5th one done? Does that become the thing that you blame for not following through on your word? If so, you are conditional. You are basically saying, if nobody calls me with an emergency, then I'll get my 5 applications submitted. That's conditional. And the opposite of that is literally, I'm getting these 5 applications submitted no matter what happens today. No matter what. And 5 is the bare minimum, right? And then you want to say, well, are you a bare minimum person? Or are you like, do you really want this? Like, do you really want a client? Do you really want to find those high paying clients that are going to replace your job income or exceed it? So you have to be really honest with yourself about what kind of a person are you? There's a lot of conditional people out there. And these are people that do not know how to communicate. They are full of if-then statements. They are really, really confused as to what is a cause and what is an effect. Right? If you do the work to put yourself in front of dozens and dozens of people that are looking for a copywriter, if you submit those applications and you do your best with it and you really give it your all and you really work to get better with each one, like you treat each one like a writing project, you're eventually going to get hired. Someone is eventually going to say yes to you. You're eventually going to land a client. The problem is most people get in their own way. They stop. They justify why they can't send the 5 proposals or applications a day. They come up with all sorts of reasons and excuses. They engage in bad habits, so they end up feeling really shitty the next day, and then they have like no energy to put towards the process. So where are you in the whole equation? Like, where are you? Let's be honest with where you're at. Where are you being conditional? Where are you saying, if they do something, then I'll do this? Or if they don't do this, then I won't do that. Like, where are you being conditional? Where are you putting your power in other people or circumstances? I mean, it can apply to the weather. If you made it a goal to run and jog outside every day for 90 days or something, and it rains or it snows and you don't jog that day, then you're being conditional. You're giving power to something outside of yourself, the weather. Instead of saying, you know what? I'm still going to get my run in today. It may be really slow. I may have to literally walk. I may have to hop, but I'm going to get the damn run in because that's what I committed to. And this, again, this can apply to anything. This can apply to your workouts. So gym workouts. If you're on a certain protocol, a certain like fitness program or something, and you have to do specific workouts, and you say, okay, I'm going to do these. I'm going to do them every single day. I'm going to do them exactly as the program details, regardless of how sore I am, regardless of how tired I am, regardless of how much energy I feel like I have or don't have. Are you going to stick with it? And you know what makes me sick is there are so many forces in society today that are trying to convince people that it's okay for you to not follow through on your word. Like, it's everywhere in society. It's inundating everybody. Like, oh, it's okay if you feel tired and you need to call in sick and you need to take a day. Like, there's people that consistently do that. They really are conditional. And it's not going to get you very far. Like, I'm sorry, but you're going to have like massive struggles with basic things because you won't stick to something. This could even be like relationship stuff. Recently, Dan and I were thinking about like what we could do for interesting and unique dates. Because he loves to explore like the external world. I'm perfectly happy just being in my own bubble indoors, like writing and reading and doing Zoom calls all day long. I'm fine with that. He loves to travel and explore all these random places. And I like that to a degree, but I like it to be for a purpose. So like, business traveling. So we're like, okay, what kind of dates can we do? What kind of like fun stuff can we do together that's going to create new memories and give us really fun experiences that we'll treasure? Because when you're in a relationship, like that's what you do with your partner, right? And we are like committing to doing that once a week. And so we have all these things that we do kind of on a regular basis, but then we're like, well, let's try to do something new once a week to add some variety into it. So we have our regular stuff that we do every week, and then we do something new, which is, it's new, right? It's fun, it's scary, it's nerve-wracking, whatever it may be. But that's a commitment. It's inconvenient. You have to like research it. You have to book the trip or whatever. You have to like pay for it, all that stuff. You have to drive there, whatever it is. But we're committed to doing that. So that's what we're doing. And that's good for our relationship. So you have to ask yourself, what do you need to commit to? What do you need to stick to? What are you not sticking to that you know is really good for you? But you're just coming up with all these excuses, all these reasons to break your commitment to yourself. This is a really huge topic. And I'm not saying I'm perfect at this. I am working on this as well. I've been in a program for the last 90 days and I've showed up to it daily and I haven't missed a single day. And I'm really, really proud of that. And I just renewed that for the rest of the year because I love it so much. I'm like, this is a game changer. And I think everybody needs that. Like, you need to ask yourself, like, what is it that you want to commit to? What is the goal that you want? What is the dream that you want to take action on, right? If you're wanting to become a full-time copywriter and work at home and never have to wear shoes again in your life to work, unless you want to, my feet are barefoot right now, that's your choice. Like, what do you have to commit to make that happen? For me, way back in the day, I quit my job. And so I had ample time and space every single day to take actions that would help me find clients. Now, there were also many days where I didn't take those actions and I justified it. I did distracting things instead of the actions that would help me find clients. So that's the person that I was back then. And I realized, wow, if I continue this trend, it's not going to work for me. Like, I have to make a decision to prioritize this activity over all the other bullshit. When you sacrifice something of a lower nature, you automatically make space for something of a higher nature to come in. That's the law of sacrifice. So that's the training for today is, are you conditional? Where are you being conditional? Where do you need to strengthen your foundation of who you are as a person? So if you want some homework, because I always like to assign homework on my group calls, create a goal for yourself and figure out, what do you need to do every single day in order to reach that goal, and then do it every day. Lock it in as a habit every day. I have a mentor that swears that 90 days is the minimum that you need to do something every day in order to make it a rock solid habit. It's not 21 days, it's not 60, it's 90 days to do something. So pick a goal that you really, really want. You have to figure out, like, what is going to get you to that goal, because sometimes you don't know what's going to get you to that goal. And you have to find out. You have to, like, hire someone that's done it before and do whatever they suggest and, make it work, or don't pick that goal, right? So pick a goal, figure out what you need to do to get that goal, do it for 90 days, stick to it for 90 days and see, where are you being conditional? Where are you blaming people or things outside of yourself for whether or not you stuck to it that day? If you guys want any help with this, send me an email to michelle@antimarketingmanifesto.com. That goes directly to me. I see all the emails. I delete the ones that are junk, obviously. And you can also DM me on Instagram. I'm at Anti-Marketing Manifesto on Instagram. So if you need help with this, I really love helping people that have a goal and they want support with it and they're ready to change and they're just, like, a little nervous around it and they need some support around it. Right? This is about building up your mindset. This is about building up positive habits, cutting out anything that does not fit your goal, ruthlessly cutting it out because it doesn't fit, right? So email me, reach out to me if you want help with this. Otherwise, I will leave it there. Have an amazing Friday. Bye.